Yo, thank God for live professional sports because nothing else across the entire entertainment spectrum, at least coming out in the official sense, YouTube and everything else is still killing it. Nobody's doing numbers. Absolutely nothing. Hollywood right now is languishing. That's why they desperately wanted everybody that they could get to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials to please get hyped for something that's coming out. You like the Deadpool trailer? You like the Kung Fu Panda? You kids like the Despicable. Somebody please go to the cinema, please, because ladies and gentlemen, it has been atrocious. We've been seeing this headline repeated time and time and time again. They've just had to change out a couple of the names because, okay, if it wasn't, Wonka holding on for an unknown amount of time at the top of the box office, or Mean Girls, and now you got the atrocious Argyle beating the, I hadn't even heard about this Lisa Frankenstein movie come out. That's the best that's on offer, and oh boy, reinforcements aren't really showing up here at the end of the week. Because if not even the leading actress wants to be associated with it, it's going to be a disaster. But more on that here in the next couple of moments. I don't want to, officially bury the lead. But Argyle beats Lisa Frankenstein in the slowest Super Bowl weekend of all time. Yo, we've seen this. What was it? January? January was even down from last year's, I think, record-breaking all by about 20-30% or something like that. It's going to be interesting to see the entire quarter in totality, because outside of Dune coming out on the 1st of March, which can't come too soon for any of these theaters, right? Like, they're stocking up on extra butter and those Dune popcorn buckets because they need somebody to show up for this thing, because you can't continue to keep the lights on if you don't make any money at all. Matthew Vaughn's spy thriller, well, not really, Henry Cavill bait and switch, which because of it being a cataclysmic bomb, Henry Cavill's getting blamed for this. Now, I understand, right? Like, you're out there in front of all of the marketing, and you don't really want to tank the film that you're so closely associated with by revealing that you're only going to be in 7 minutes of the 2 hour 20-minute runtime. So, yeah, I understand, but at the same time, Henry, like, fire your agent, hire a new one. Advice you should have been taking from, I don't know, around 2017, because you had the world at your feet with the release of Mission Impossible Fallout. Everybody loved you as the foil for Tom Cruise, and I don't want to spoil anything else that's in it, but you were right there, man. You were right there, and then just bad decision after bad decision, but that's what you get when you end up taking on The Rock's sloppy seconds. Emerged victorious over newcomer Lisa Frankenstein in a moribund box office, with both films struggling to show signs of life. Yes, Argyle, which is on pace to lose somewhere in the realm of $250-300 million, a phrase we're going to be repeating multiple times throughout the year, claimed the number one spot again with $6.5 million from 3,600 theaters. Bruh, that's wild. Marking a steep 62% decline from its disappointing debut. Yeah, a 62% drop-off, that's pretty bad. That's pre-Marvel's MCU standard, but they were coming down from like 200 million. Argyle is coming down from $28.8 million. It cost $200 million to produce, and it stands as the year's first humongous bomb. Horror comedy, Lisa Frankenstein, cratered in second place with $3.8 million. Holy shit. That's the top two, man. The top two combined barely cracked $10 million. And I'm sure once we get actuals, probably going to be a hell of a lot closer to $10 million, if not maybe under, from 3,144. Yo, it's a little over $100 per theater. What the hell? Yo, what are we doing? Terrible start for any movie in wide release. However, Focus Features only spent $13 million to make the film, and it's still not going to make back its money. Wow. Which may cushion the box office shortcomings. Yeah, okay, so we spent in totality $30 million marketing, producing, creating this, and we're only going to end up making 10 by the time that it's all said and done. Maybe 10. It's like, it's not that bad. Okay, it bombed. It's not that bad, but holy shit. Were you trying to make it bomb? That's a relief for the studio, because neither critics nor audiences responded to the movie, which holds a 50% on RT and a B on Cinema Score. Juno screenwriter Diablo Cody wrote Lisa Frankenstein. That's strange. Which is directed by Zelda Williams, daughter of Robin Williams. Goddamn. In her feature debut, PG-13 love story follows him. Yo, man, I really couldn't care less about some teen dramedy about high school crush, happens to be a corpse, blah, blah, blah. I am much more concerned about a high school action flick that is going to be dead on arrival. Madam Web comes out in a few short days, and oh boy, this is going to be hilarious. If you thought Argyle was the first big miss of the year, you ain't seen nothing yet, kids. How much Madam Web costs to make and what box office it needs, because we know that Argyle costs north of $200 million. Do we have official numbers on that? I'm going to do some off-screen research here real quick. Yeah, man, I just went to the numbers on my, trusty little phone. My second screen, if you will. And yeah, $60 million worldwide box office so far, $200 million budget for that. So yeah, it's not even going to get half of its money back before it gets shuttered and shuffled out of theaters. But to be replaced by what? It's like Dune can only be shown on so many screens, and it's not like Madam Web's surge in popularity is going to help it out at all. Nope, it's just not going to happen. But Sony's a Spider-Man universe movie, which they're really trying to establish, but just like a post-Zack Snyder, pre-James Gunn DC, it doesn't really know where it's going because, hell, there's no central idea and there's no Spider-Man yet. Like, officially, like Tom Holland hasn't signed on to do anything. You haven't recast Spider-Man. You don't even know if a fourth is coming out. You don't know if you're going to have to rebrand and do a different type of Spider-Man. Like, you're trying to make a universe for a character that you don't even have a direction for. Has Hollywood not learned anything because of its disasters over the past few years? No. They haven't seen the precipitous fall of its sister franchise not having a central idea? No. Boy, Hollywood. Never change. First major Marvel movie of 2024 is Madam Web. And yeah, this right here is going to be doing a lot. I made the case in my Deadpool 3, well now Deadpool and the Wolverine trailer recap announcement video, the previous video of the day, that the brand damage that you're going to be getting from Madam Web, because this is not going to be popular. I will gouge my eyes out if this thing makes $1 billion. Hell, I don't know if it's going to make less money than the Marvels, but it sure as hell has an awfully good chance of it. But even though it's not official MCU, it's still carrying with it, and it can legally, the banner of being a Marvel film. And that's going to be, two astronomical bombs in a row leading up to something that you really hope turns something around in Deadpool 3. Well, now it's Deadpool and Wolverine. What a cumbersome name. I don't like it anymore. And here's how much it costs to make and how much it needs to earn at the box office in order to be successful. The latest film in the Sony Spooderman universe tells the story of Cassandra Web, whose mother died while researching spiders in the Amazon. A paramedic who discovers she has a powerful psychic ability that allows her to see into the future, and I'm already falling asleep reading the recap. She uses her talents. She takes her talents down to, Manhattan, protect the lives of 3 young spooder women from a threatening man named Ezekiel Sims. The Madam Web cast features Dakota Johnson, more on her in a second, and Sydney Sweeney's gigantic tits. The Madam Web release date is February 14th. I hope you got your tickets because somebody has to. And its a performance at the box office could set the tone for 2024 Marvel movies. It definitely could, because there's more. At least there are more on the way coming from the Sony side of things, but Deadpool and Wolverine is the only official MCU offering. Well, they've got something else that's in the pipe, but less said about that, and this is even the official MCU line, the better. Movies in the SSU, the Sony Spider-Man universe, have garnered mixed commercial success, ranging from exceedingly profitable, like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's interesting to throw in there, because animated, like, even though they take an immense amount of work and they can be exceptionally great features, like everything that Pixar was putting out prior to, well, the dismissal, the firing of John Lasseter, and hell, the Disney Renaissance and even their old golden era stuff. Animation is great, but when you're trying to do these live action and animation stuff and you're trying to mix it all together, it doesn't really easily go hand in glove like they want it to. But I guess the whole the SSU has had its ups and downs, and in order to just really point in an unbridled up, you'd have to delve into the animated stuff, because if you want to go with something that's just been a runaway success, we don't really have anything that's out there. Add to financial failures like Morbius, and Madam Web was a hold my wine spritzer. Most recently, even films from the MCU, which historically had a stronger track record than the SSU, underperformed critically and commercially. Yep, depending on what site you look at, either Box Office Mojo has the Marvels pegged at $207 million worldwide, cataclysmic failure, or The Numbers, which is far more hilarious and far more accurate, has it at 199.7 million. Yeah, not great at all. Regardless, on and around $200 million on a $300 million budget. It was a failure, catastrophic failure, and these are all going to be lumped in together because guess what? This is another great big female team up, and they're people, normies. Okay, nothing against normies. It's just they're not as plugged in as the rest of us. They don't know that Sony's making this. They'll probably just see it'll be just a part of all of those incessant advertisements that they put at the beginning of all of these films. Now, it's just going to be another Chiron that shows up on the screen. It's like, oh, Sony this time. Okay, great. Where's the Marvel one? Where's the one where I go dun 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 dun, and then it shows all the pictures of the people that are in there. I don't see that. Oh, well, it must be different. Oh my God, there's old cameras in this one. Oh, there's webs. That's like the Spider-Man one. They're trying to trick people into the theaters with this. It's not working. Madam Web's box office success could either continue this downward trend for superhero movies or signal a return to form. It's not. But hey, on the bright side, Madam Web's budget is less than $100 million. It's all right, guys. It's all right. Reported by Variety, Madam Web has a budget of less than $100 million, making it one of the less expensive releases from the SSU. That'd be interesting, right? Like, how far do we have to go back? Probably into phase 1 of the MCU, and obviously some of the old Fox and Sony stuff. We're going back like a decade plus. When was the last time where we had a mainline superhero film cost less than $100 million? This one's still, right on the cusp, and it'll probably come out that, it's probably a little bit higher than that. But $100 million, it seems light in comparison, but even just from the trailer that we've seen, it's like, wow, you spent $100 million on that. Where'd the money go? In comparison, yes, the other SSU movies that are slated for release this year, Kraven the Hunter, which, wow, that needed $130 million. Like, the character of Kraven, most people aren't going to know, but he does have a really, 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 really strong story from the Spider-Man comics, but one storyline doesn't necessarily make for a character that needs his own movie. Now, that doesn't automatically disqualify that from being a good film, but come on, man, success leaves clues and so does failure, and yeah, and the SSU has been going on for a while, and Venom 3, the $110 million, Interesting, right? Because that's the third installment, and I guess, Let There Be Carnage didn't really do numbers like that, but I thought the first Venom was a moderate success. They aren't great films, at least they're not regarded as much, but I don't know, maybe Sony's figuring out this weird formula that you can do more with less. We're not just talking about the audience. While this may seem like a bad omen, there are a lot of factors working in favor of the movie that could mean success. Yeah, just $100 million, and then, you got to times 1 or times 2, times 2.5 that for marketing. And, well, to be completely fair, outside of some weird Asian tie-ins, that's not fair. I have seen some commercials for it, which is kind of strange even for me to see commercials, but yeah, I would say this is probably going to be at least a $250 million break-even movie. Obviously, at least $200 million. I would say probably closer to 250 in order to break even. And guys, it's just not going to happen. Okay, like it says, there could be factors working to make this a success, but it's kind of tough when your lead actress wants nothing to do with your film. This is hilarious. Dakota Johnson just can't be bothered to pretend Madam Web is good. Madam Web press tour has brought out some incredible takes from star Dakota Johnson, who she hasn't explicitly said it. I'm sure we're probably going to get those revelations, kind of like with a lot of the actors and actresses in a post the Game of Thrones season 8 release schedule, where things kind of ended up falling apart. And I'm sure we're going to get the admission from Dakota Johnson, who probably thought that, I'll do one of those superhero films. They're reliable paychecks. Okay, they get your face out there, they'll get you set up for different gigs. She probably thought that she was getting in bed with Disney, with the MCU. She thought that by taking a Marvel film, she would just necessarily be grandfathered into that franchise, but she didn't end up lucking out on this one. And it became very much apparent to her after filming Wrapped that no, this isn't a part of the MCU, and now she's not burying the film, but she's just kind of being apathetic. Hilarious. Don't get me wrong, I was one of the few people who genuinely was looking forward to seeing Madam Web after the first trailer dropped in November. I guess there has to be one out there, right? Still so rare to get superhero movies that have a majority female cast. Have you seen modern MCU? There's at least a number of high-profile females in more of their recent outings. Okay, WandaVision? Agatha, that's still coming out this year. You had Echo at the beginning of the year. Obviously, yes, the Marvels. You had America Chavez opposite and taking up the disproportionate amount of screen time in Doctor Strange. You had Natalie Portman's Jane Foster and Thor Love and Thunder. But you just go ahead and continue to live in delusions. But after watching Dakota Johnson's incredible takes during the Madam Web press tour, however, it seems like this may be a movie that's not even the cast is interested in fighting for. Johnson's carefree attitude, that's one way to put it, for Madam Web's press tour isn't a surprise, giving her iconic performance on the Ellen DeGeneres show, where the host jokingly asked why she wasn't invited to Johnson's birthday party. A big mistake by Ellen. I don't care. Blast ahead. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Johnson said filming in front of a blue screen was an absolutely psychotic experience. Oh, that's why it cost so much money, because from the trailer, it's like you're talking a bunch of bitches, filming them in a forest around a couple of old beaters, and you got shots from inside of a city, and how much does it cost to rent a ambulance and those costumes? Whew. Less said about their quality, the better, but okay. We've gotten, or rather, while she trusted the film's director, S.J. Clarkson entirely, Johnson said that she spent a lot of time thinking, I don't know if this is going to be good at all. I hope that I did an okay job. Oh, an okay job. Boy. Now listen, there's an old folk tale. Maybe it's an urban legend. I haven't really seen it confirmed or anything like that, but enough people have referenced it that we can take it at least with a grain of salt. But Scarlett Johansson, when she was filming The Avengers, right back all the way, cast your mind back to 2012, better days for everybody involved. She thought all the superhero stuff was super goofy until they were filming the Avengers Assemble moment right there in New York City before they were about to, square off with the Chitauri, sorry. And then they did the 360 shot around all the superheroes when everybody was all powered up. And then it clicked with her that, oh boy, this is going to be huge and over $1 billion at the box office later. And one of the best, if not the best superhero films, at least out of the MCU later. She was onto something there, but, Dakota Johnson, in the context of Madam Web, I don't know if it's going to be good, and hope I did an okay job. And things have only gotten off the rails even more so in the best possible way from there. In the week leading up to the film's release, so just last week, we've gotten more Johnson takes than we know what to do with. When asked if she wants to see her character Cassandra Web team up with, she talked about the power sets that would complement Cassie before saying, I don't know who those heroes are, but I'll take them. Yo, what the hell? She also tore down a Huffington Post question about the infamous line from the trailer that went viral. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died. Simply replying that she didn't understand why people were so obsessed with it because it's so stupid. How did that go viral? Isn't any sentence out of context? He took it out of context and he put it in a trailer. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, your producers took it out of context. They tried to make it go viral, and they did. That sucks. Oh, what a silly thing, she said flatly. That seems like a basic storyline to me. Maybe. It's just, I'm just underneath it. Yes, of course. Like, yo, man, that's crazy. While talking to Seth Meyers, no wonder I haven't, like, specifically seen any of these interviews because, well, I'm not 75 years old and watch late night or even daytime television. While talking to Seth Meyers about the what viewers need to know before seeing Madam Web and whether or not it connects with Sony's Spider-Verse, she said, you don't gotta know nothing to watch the movie. It's great for America. Oh, great. So now you want to throw Americans under the bus. The people that you want to come and watch you in the theaters. Oh boy. And honestly, no thoughts, just vibes movie. It doesn't sound that bad right now. Oh boy. Same interview with Myers. Johnson talked about working with her Gen Z co-stars. Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Mercedes, sure, and Celeste O'Connor. Outside of Sydney Sweeney, because that bitch is everywhere. I have no idea who these chicks are. I love them, and they annoy me. Oh, great. Which is hilarious considering that Gen Z is absolutely one of the major target audiences for this movie. But I got a video that's cooking somewhere in the background about how Gen Z couldn't actually care less about what comes out in the theaters, and the more that Hollywood continues to try to lean in to be, hey, how do you do, fellow kids type territory, the less that they're wanting to turn out for this absolute crap. I've got an idea. If you want to try to attract Gen Z, if you wanted to have stars excited for being in a movie, being a part of a franchise, how about you just write a good movie? I know, right? In this day and age, novel idea. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.